Hey Jeepers, today I'm going to talk to you about POR 15. Now this is Paint Over Rust 15. What it does is it covers rust, seals it, and protects it so that it can't rust anymore. I have my TJ behind me, and about 3 months ago I did the right side of the frame. The frame is pretty rusted. I had the back corner re-welded, and I wanted to protect the rest so that it doesn't rust out anymore. So I have the left side that I need to do, and I thought I'd take you along for the ride. So first, let's talk about the products that you'll need, and then we'll talk about application. Okay, to just get started, you are going to need a POR 15 kit, and that comes with a cleaning degreaser, a metal prep, and then the POR 15 itself. Now I chose to get these little canisters because I'm able to do one canister covers one side of the frame, so that's first coat, then second coat. These things, when you take this off, it bonds and you're not able to get that cap off again, so that's why I just went with these. They empty out pretty quick and easy, and it works that way. But beyond the actual kit, which you can get, I have a link below on my Amazon affiliate, you can check it out there, you're going to need other supplies, and here's what you need. So the first step in this whole thing is getting the rust off to begin with, the big chunks that I have underneath. And my favorite go-to tool is this needle scaler. Just hook it up to an air compressor and go to town. I'll show you some video of that. But then there's some hard spots that I can't get to, and I just use a driver with some metal whisk, brush spinners. And then of course I have my eye protection. I'm a paintballer, so of course that's my eye protection, and also something for my face for breathing and such. Now once you've got all that rust off there, then you're going to actually have to clean it. So you use a degreaser, you put this on there and then hose it off and let it dry. And of course at all times I wear a chemical mask for that and gloves because this stuff is nasty stuff. And the second piece is the metal prep. This etches it and helps have the POR adhere to the metal. That one for sure, you better have a mask on, that stuff's pretty strong. Now the third step is actually applying the POR 15. So obviously you need POR 15. Whatever you want. You can get these small canisters or a large canister. If you do get a large canister, just know that that top is going to be difficult to get off. There is a hack where you can clean it off the best you can, put some cling wrap on it, and then put this cap on top of it, and then it's supposed to come apart easier. I have not tested that, but you can give it a try. The second thing is drop cloths. You get this stuff on your pavement, it's not going to come off for years. So put drop cloth down, as well as I cover the whole brake system too in case I drip on that as well. And then some just brushes, any type of brushes. These were really super cheap. They were like 60 cents. You're basically going to use one for each can and then pitch it. So now let's get to cleaning that rust. So this is where I actually had it welded, and what I had was I had this whole back corner re-welded, and you can see pretty nice job. They formed it, fashioned it, and put it all back together. So that's rock solid. And what I'm losing is obviously the frame underneath and here. So this is actually from like an undercoating protection that the rust is creeped underneath, and because you can see how it's black on top, and then underneath it starts to actually do that flaking. So we'll bust all that off with the air needle and go to town. I'm just using the air tool just to dry it off a little quicker so I can speed it up. Alright, so these next two steps of degreasing and doing the metal prepping is actually really important, so don't skimp on these. Your kit comes with it, so use the cleansing degreaser. Spray it all over the frame, get all the debris off of it, including all the greases and oils that actually collect on it, so that your POR 15 can adhere really well. In this step, you're going to just basically spray it all over the frame, let it sit for a little bit, and then spray it off and let it dry. You're certainly going to want to wear a chemical mask and your rubber gloves at this stage because this stuff can be pretty nasty and I wouldn't inhale it. So I'm going to start from the back here. I'm going to move all the way to the front, making sure I get everything. Saturate it really good. They give you a ton of this stuff, so you can really use it to clean the surface. Once you give about 10 minutes for the degreaser to really set in, then you go ahead and spray it off again. The next step is the metal prep. We've degreased it, cleaned it, and let it air dry. And you'll see that it actually has rust still on it. That's fine. POR 15 loves rust, but if there's any places where there's metal exposed, clean metal, this metal prep will actually etch it so that the POR 15 will adhere to the metal as well as the rust. So this is a very important step. So of course, again, we want to wear the chemical mask and use the gloves. We're going to spray this all over it, let it sit for like 15-20 minutes, and then come back and spray it off. So as you can see now, the rust is dried and it's time to spray on the metal etching. Okay, now I've already sprayed this once with the metal prep, and I'm gonna let it sit for a couple minutes, but I'm gonna watch it because I don't want it to dry out. You wanna keep spraying it and keep it moist and let it keep etching into the actual metal while you're giving it the 20 minutes of sit time. So I'll just keep watching it, spraying it from time to time, and then after 20 minutes, I'll hose it all off and let it dry up again. All right, the frame's been soaking in the metal prep for 20 minutes now. I had to spray it 3 times just to keep it wet, and now I'm just gonna hose it down. Kind of got wet there while I was spraying. All right, now what I'm gonna do is let it dry. I'm gonna use the air compressor to try to dry some of it off, but also I'm gonna use a fan and put it up underneath it. It's about, I don't know, 55, 60 degrees out today, so it takes a little longer to dry, but it's noon, so I'll go have lunch while it's drying, and we'll come back and paint it. All right, got the drop cloth all down there to protect my driveway from getting all marked up. It is time to paint. Hello folks, we are at the main event. So take out a can. So most important, do not shake these cans. They say do not shake, you want to stir them. So we'll pop it open. Take the lid off. And I just grabbed a stick from my yard. And you can kind of feel how it's thicker on the bottom and thinner on the top. That's why you need to stir it up. And just use a stick from my yard, and that should be good. Now I've got gloves on. I've also changed my shirt into a shirt that I really don't care about, because when this stuff gets on it, it's not coming off. Now last thing, grab our cheap paintbrush and our paint, and let's go to town. Now you can see how watery this stuff is. So it's pretty thin, which is amazing how hard it cures. You want to fill every little crack. Let it just drip into all the little holes and areas so that it'll turn that rust into paint. You can see now this stuff is really watery and just drips. So you're gonna put it on real thin. You just get it on there and let it kind of seep into all the little holes and cracks. And that's why you got to put plastic down on your driveway, because this stuff just sort of drips off. All right, as you can see, this one can basically covered from the back of the front wheel all the way to here. This is the part I'm most worried about and getting really coated, so I put a ton on this here. Gonna have to let it dry for a while. It's a little cold out, so I think it's gonna take a little bit for this to dry, but one can, now I can just pitch it and clean up and start with the second can on the second coat. All right, here we go with coat 2. I'm gonna basically start from the back and move forward this time so that I get a different angle on when I'm brushing everything in, and put about the same amount on this one, nice and thin, get that second layer, and then let it cure up. All right, so that is the second coat. Next step, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the wheel back on and put it in the garage and let it cure up for about 24 to 48 hours. I'll probably leave it in there the whole weekend. You wanna let it cure at least 24 hours before you get it all wet and dirt on it and those types of things, because then it'll hold really well. I'm really happy with the POR 15. If you wanna get the product yourself, there's a link below to my Amazon affiliate. You can get yourself some there, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's worked great on the right side, and I'm happy to have the left side done. Winter, come get me now. If you would, please subscribe or hit like or a notification, a little bell button if you want to see my other videos. This is a little different than my normal channel. I do hiking and gear reviews and those types of things, but if you would, that would be awesome. Until next time, remember, life's a hike, so hike happy. I'm going to put this vehicle back together, put it in the garage.